Hi, I'm Tamra Davison and I want to welcome you back to my kitchen. It's springtime and rhubarb's in abundance. Maybe you have some growing in your garden. We're certainly busy harvesting it at the farm. We have a variety that's very red and nice to use for baking. But today we're going to make a rhubarb cheesecake. So we start by cutting up the rhubarb. We're going to need 3 cups. And for this recipe, we throw the rhubarb in raw. We mix it in. So I want to cut up my rhubarb, lining it up and then cutting it into fairly small pieces. Next thing you're going to want to do is grease your pan and then turn on your oven to 350 and let that preheat while you're doing the rest of your preparations for this yummy dessert. I've got 3 cups of rhubarb and I'm going to add a package of strawberry jello to that. And then I'm going to add 3/4 of a cup of sugar to that. Stir that up and just let the sugar do its magic and pull out some of the juices from the berries. Strawberry jello acts to sweeten it, plus it gives it a bit of a more intense red flavor, so mixed with the cream cheese, you'll see that comes out beautiful. So the next part is to use our Davison crumble topping. I'm not sure if you're familiar with this, but I have this as a staple in my freezer all the time. There's so many uses for it. You can sprinkle it on muffins, but the easiest and quickest way to make a dessert is just to use it as a topping on top of any kind of fruit. You can just lay fresh peaches, blueberries, apples, whatever, a combination of fruits in the bottom of a pan, and then you just sprinkle this crumble on top and you can bake it, and it makes a super simple, easy dessert. So the first thing you want to do is take out about a cup out of the bag and make it a heaping cup, and then just set that aside for later. And then you can dump the rest of the crumble into a bowl. And this is going to bind the crumble together and make a really nice base for our cheesecake. This way you don't have to pre-bake the base as well. It'll hold together nicely and it'll just be the perfect texture for the cheesecake afterwards. So in one of these bags of crumbles, it's about 4 cups. So this would be about 3 cups of crumble in case you're wanting to make your own. Pour that into my pre-greased 9x13 pan. Spread it around evenly and make sure that the whole bottom is covered. And if you take a heaping cup full of your crumble and you need a little bit to add to fill in the holes, you could do that. So I'm just going to add a little bit more from my 1 cup that I've set aside and just kind of smooth it to fill in the holes. So there we have our base. And you want to press it down fairly firm, but there is shortening in the crumble, so it should bind together with that egg really nicely. The next step is to make the cream cheese filling for the middle of the cheesecake. So you're going to use 2 blocks of cream cheese, and the best way is to take it out an hour or so before you actually need it so that it softens, because it's a lot easier to beat if the cream cheese is softened somewhat. So while it's beating, slowly add your 1/2 cup of sugar until that's well blended. Then we're going to add 2 eggs with 1 teaspoon of vanilla. I like to add the vanilla to the eggs. And it looks a little on the runny side, but it will set as it bakes in the oven. Now this recipe calls for 2 blocks of cream cheese, which makes a big cheesecake, this 9x13. But if you don't need so many servings, you can also half the recipe that we'll have posted. It would make an 8-inch square. Now you can see some of the juices have started to come out of the rhubarb. And all you do is spoon the rhubarb on top of the cheesecake layer. Like I said, you need to cut the rhubarb fairly fine because this will only bake in the oven about 45 minutes, so you want the rhubarb to be cooked nicely. Take that cup or whatever you have left from making the base of the crumble and then just sprinkle it lightly on top. That looks good already, doesn't it? So there we have it, our rhubarb cheesecake. And now we'll Pop it in the oven once it's preheated and bake it at 350 for about 45 minutes. So once your 45 minutes is up or thereabouts, you can check on the cheesecake. Just touch the center of it lightly with your fingers, and if it feels firm to the touch, it should be good to go. And that's how you make rhubarb cheesecake. If you found this video helpful, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more videos.